Shalom. You see us? Are we in the photo? We got babies. Perfect. All right. Shabbat Shalom. Are we live? Perfect. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rabbi Jesse Yishai Mordechai Charon. I say Yishai, my Hebrew name. We have a B'nai Mitzvah class, all kinds of activities going on. But what? It's December 17th?
The 19th.
The 19th. Where's the time go? December 19th, the 4th of Tevet. We are coming to you live from our Sunrise Sanctuary. Again, we are a URJ affiliated congregation. We're Temple Beth David, and we are blessed. I wasn't here last Shabbos, but now we're blessed to be here together as a family. So Rebbitzin is with us, and Nava, and Ziva, and Reina Esther, and we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. Again, we have our president with us, and our streaming specialist, Judy Kern, thank you so much. Denise Whitlock and Annie, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited. How do we start our Shabbat services? With some announcements.
Well, with some birthday announcements.
Birthday announcements.
So, on a personal note, Rabbi doesn't really honor anything other than like year birthdays, but today is the 6-month mark for our twins, Nava and Ziva.
They'll have a birthday in 6 months?
Which is exciting because 6 months is when the pediatrician said we could introduce solid foods. So later today they'll get their first.
You got to vote. I'm the Rebbitzin, let's see what the Rebbitzin says.
So the plan is to start them on just like a whole grain infant specific oatmeal blend.
Let us know what you think. We're interactive. I say smash bananas. I love bananas. At our house, we always have bananas. So what do you think? You got to let us know. Whole organic, non-GMO, everything that is healthy and which is great, or just a banana.
All right, and if there's any foods that you tried with your little ones, and it was funny, or it was something that went over well, let us know as well. Either email us or chat us in the comments. This is interactive. But one of our Sunday school students and members is having a birthday this week. Happy birthday to
Leaf. Happy birthday.
And we say, Hayom
Yom Huledet, Hayom Yom Huledet, Hayom Yom Huledet Le'Leaf. Chag lach sameach v'zeh haporeach, Hayom Yom Huledet Le'Leaf.
Happy birthday.
What has brought you here this morning? Thinking about, here, we're in the midst of the coronavirus, and it's an interesting thing, when we talk about prayer. What brought you to us today? And we think about that because, prayer changes. Prayer changes. And how we pray, the tunes that we use, the nusach, what we include, what we choose not to include, all those things. So here, what brought you here today? As our Chazan said last night, you have so many options. Here today, you have more. You're inundated with options here. Don't turn us away. Don't hit the channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can hit stop or play. What brought you here with us today? We need inspiration for prayer. And on page 184, let us read this together. Again, we are a URJ affiliated congregation. We use the Mishkan Tefillah Siddur, and we have a hyperlink embedded here for your enjoyment, to follow along, to look, to read. And it's a hard thing to do because, you're not here in this space. So what does that look like? You're not here in this space. Maybe you're busy with a morning cup of coffee, or maybe, I don't even know, you're walking in a park and you've got your phone and you're watching us on YouTube. That's also a possibility. So you're going to say, Rabbi, stop with the book. I don't have the book. I'm just listening. All right. So if you're listening, page 184, listen, inspiration for prayer. Each of us, we enter this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken. Loved ones are lying on beds of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring us comfort. Some hearts are embittered, ideals are betrayed, mocked, answers are sought in vain. Life has lost meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith. You know, in the morning, we turn to page 186. In the morning, I guess I'll share with you really the happiest moments in my life. It's kind of funny, putting my daughter to sleep and waking her up. And I'll share with you, really first about the waking up part. But every morning when I'm blessed and I have the ability to go into my daughter's room, I shut the door at night. And at night she always says, leave that door open. So I go, okay. And later on, a few hours later, if not, she'll be awake at like 5 a.m. But when I open the door in the morning, she goes, hi, Abba. And I go, Raina, how do we wake up? And she looks at me for a second. I go, how do we as Jewish people, how do we wake up? And then she looks at me and laughs, and then she says, Modeh Ani. That's how we wake up. Let us now, we're blessed to listen to the voice of the Rebbitzin, lead us, guide us with Modeh Ani.
Not quite as amazing as the voice of our little Raina, but I will try my best. Modeh Ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechazarta bi nishmati b'chemla ba'emunatecha.
On page 188, we come together with Hine Matov.
Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim kam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim kam yachad.
On page 190, we're going to put on our talitot. And, this, just to share with you, and I've spoken about this at such length, but the importance of having a reminder, having a garment, belonging to a place or having something to signify that you're Jewish. And, that's what the talit is. That's what the yarmulke is. That's what wearing a Magen David, a chamsa, all these types of necklaces or jewelry or Judaica. It really is, it's so important, and here we just put all of our things away at our house. I'm not sure if you did, the Rebbitzin said, all right, put all the Hanukkah stuff away and label everything Hanukkah, because I had labeled it like kitchen. I don't even know why it was labeled kitchen. And then we just moved here. I say just moved here. We've been here a year and a half. And if you look at our garage, that's not what it says.
Know it.
Because I have boxes still all over the place. But it's so important to put these things out. And I love the decorations. I mean, here we live in such a nice neighborhood. We get to walk around and see all the Christmas decorations, and we have our Hanukkah decorations, and that's it. Hanukkah is over. But here, the next holiday coming up is Purim. And
Tu B'Shvat, Rabbi.
Tu B'Shvat, that's right. The 15th of Shvat. And that's a big holiday. We think about Tu B'Shvat. Last year we had a Seder.
We had an
An amazing, like Kabbalistic Seder with all kinds of delicious cheeses and fruits from the land of Israel.
And this year we will also do something.
That's right. We'll do something this year. Listen, but it's important. It's important to celebrate. You can't let the holidays pass you by. You can't. No matter what happens, you have to celebrate. You have to figure out a way to celebrate. And just as we celebrate a birthday, just as we celebrate an anniversary, in our household, it wouldn't, if we forgot a birthday or an anniversary, I don't know what would happen. It wouldn't be good.
Someone would be in the doghouse.
It wouldn't be good. You got to celebrate the holidays. And the reminder to celebrate is here, is putting on a talit. It's a reminder. That's what we do. Let us, traditionally we rise, we stand up, but again, it's new times. Let's just have intention and focus. Repeat after us. Baruch, Atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Ha'olam, Asher, Kitshanu, B'mitzvotav, Vitzivanu, Lehitatef, Batzitzi. Blessed are you, Creator, the one that understands everything, that you have commanded us to wrap ourselves in the four-cornered garment. Page 192, Ma Tovu.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael.
Nisim b'chol yom, daily miracles. And, what are you grateful for? Rebbitzin, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful to be part of this community and grateful for the vaccine that has already been initiated in this country to the first responders and our frontline heroes and workers.
And I was going to say, Nava and Ziva, what are you thankful for? Being here with us. And our president, Judy, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for friends and family and good health, and like Rebbitzin Shira, the now 2 vaccines that have been EUA. The word isn't approved, but there is an emergency use ability to use 2 vaccines for COVID.
And our streaming specialist, Denise.
I'm glad Hanukkah's over.
Hanukkah is over. That's it. I spoke with a friend of mine. I said, what do you have in leftover latkes? He said, what are you, crazy? I've had so many latkes. No more latkes. It's so important, when we think about that community. And, we're all in this together. And hopefully, if you're here, if you're watching us, it's not by chance. You tuned in. And we hope that you're a part of Temple Beth David. And what does that mean to be a part of Temple Beth David? Hopefully you're supporting us. However you can, because we need your support. And that's what it means to be Jewish, to be a part of a community and to give support.
And your support allows us to, in turn, help those in our community that need it most.
That's right. And here in January, how many people do we have? 20 for the Taste of Judaism class?
18.
18.
Up for our Taste of Judaism.
Think about that. You might say, Rabbi, what are you asking for help? And here, look what we're doing. In January, we have a Taste of Judaism class. With
3-course
three courses, free, of course. It's from the URJ, but all those things, is it really free? We need support, we need help. But we have 18 people that are signed up to learn all about Judaism. That's incredible.
And there are more spaces available.
That's right. More spaces available. We have 18. It's a good number, though.
It's
a good number. But you got to sign up if you want. Again, it's through the URJ, through here at Temple Beth David, and it's so great, reading all these people's responses. Why did they sign up? Because they want to learn how Judaism can give them meaning and impact, and some of them are Jewish. They want to say, I want to have an adult relationship to Judaism. All right, let's all have.
But some of them are just our neighbors in the community wanting to learn more about what
we
Judaism
do
is and what Temple Beth David does.
That's right. So let us give thanks and have gratitude for everything. Page 198. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sachvivina lavchin ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Page 202. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. The top of page 204. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Our service now continues on page 205 with the Rebbitzin is going to lead us in a reading.
We seekers of God, how do we find you? In good deeds and in the study of Torah. In your search for us, You find us in the bending of the knee, in the rigor of study, in the honesty of commerce, through a good heart, through decency and respect, true fellowship, companionship, and love, through truth and peace, in the no that is really no, and the yes that is really yes. Baruch atah Adonai,
Hamlamed Torah le'amo Yisrael.
Yisrael.
That's not easy. The no that's the no and the yes is the yes. And being busy with words of Torah and study. But here, we offer everything here at Temple Beth David. We got all kinds of classes. You got to check the website.
It goes back to this idea of meaning what you say and saying what you mean.
Page 215, a psalm from David, Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Od Yahalu Chasela, Ashrei Am Shekacha Lo, Ashrei Am Shadonai Elohav. And now we continue with page 223 with Yishtabach. This is the start of our Shacharit service. Traditionally, again, we rise, but let us again elevate our spirits. Yishtabach Shimcha Le'ad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh B'Shamayim uVa'aretz Ki Lecha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu V'Elokei Avoteinu V'Imotenu Shir Ushvacha Halel V'Zimra Ozem Memshela Netzach Gedula Gvura Tihila V'Tiferet Kedusha U'Malchut Brachot V'Hodaot Me'ata V'Ad Olam Baruch atah Adonai El Melech Gadol Batishbachot El Ha'odaot Adonai Niflaot Habocher B'Shirei Zimra Melech Elchei Olamim. Page 224 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgada Shemei Rabbah B'alma Divrach Chirutei v'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'al meil maya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitromam, v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha, berichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imeru. Amen. On page 226, we have the call to worship. And think about that, the call to worship. I was always thinking, I never grew up with it, but here we're in the South. I'm from the South. I don't know the Southeast and the Southwest. But when you think about that, like the dinner bell. Did anyone ever grow up with the dinner bell? Is that just something I saw like in the movies? Like what's that? Was like something over the mountain or something? There was a I don't know. I always think Michael. There's like a show on TV where there's like a dinner bell. But that's what it is, calling. Think about that. That this is the calling now to bring in God's presence. And we know that God's presence is everywhere, but this is the time to really focus, to concentrate. The Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. And now we go to our Shema on page 232, and this goes back to really the other thing I wanted to share with you here. The other happy, the other happiest occasion when putting Reina Esther to sleep. And all right, you say, what about the rest of the day? Now, Rabbi, you're just saying about the bookends. What about the rest of the day? Every night. And I promise you, here I'm not telling a white lie, so to speak. I promise you, I'm actually going to, with Reina Esther's permission and the Rebbitzins' permission, I'm going to record Reina doing the Shema and the V'ahavta because it's incredible. And I want to share that that's really some of the happiest, every day I get to experience, every night. It's such an amazing thing for me, and I love it so much. You know, my daughter's 3, and really now at 3 is getting into her own identity, establishing her identity, learning who she is. And it's such a great thing, you know, at night when I go in and she says, Abba, read this book. And we've got all kinds of books. Read this book and read this book. And, you know, I think that's just a way to prolong the inevitable of going of going to sleep. But also I say, Raina, you know, before we have to get ready to go to sleep. And she said, okay, Abba, okay, Shema. And then she does the Shema, the Baruch Shem, the V'ahavta, Lama'an Tizkeru. And I get so, you should see me. I'm just like,
You're so full of pride.
I'm like lying on the floor. And that's really, you know, I hope that we have that in our lives. And I hope that we share that with our children and with our friends, our family. You know, really that's, you know, what do we talk about what's important? You know, that's really what's important, to have an understanding of identity, of who you are. And this helps us. Here, when we say the Shema, that's what it is. It helps us understand who we are. This is a way that this is our identity. This is who we are. Let us now focus on that. You know, the Rebbitzin's already getting the Arba Konfot, the 4 corners, and holding them to help us. That's why we have them, to help us. Let us focus. Let us know who we are. Let us sing the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech uv'shachpecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. I promise you that we'll record Raina Esther and upload a little voice file maybe.
Yes, we derive so much joy, and we don't want to just.
Yeah, we want you can listen. Maybe you can learn something. That's also important. Maybe Raina Esther, you know, we're always teaching. You know, here, just because you're 3 doesn't mean you can't teach anyone anything. For sure you can. Why not? She could also teach us. If you're trying to learn the Shema, Baruch Shem, V'ahavta Lama'an, we can learn from Raina. All right, page 240. Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha be'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Shira chadasha shibchu geulim. לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו וימליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובדי חינומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. On page 242, we have the Amidah. And the Amidah, you know, again, we're going to be starting all kinds of learning sessions in January about learning the tefillah prayer. And this is one that we're going to focus on. And I hope that we can all learn it together because it's important. It's important not only to learn it, but to own it. To own it, because this is about our family. This is it. You know, there's all kinds of things about, people love to do like family flow charts and all kinds of Venn diagrams where they are with their families and cousins, and, you know, people want to look for 23andMe. Is that what it's called, 23andMe?
That's one of the
One of the
programs.
programs. Here, if you want to say, Rabbi, I'm trying to figure out who's my family, I'd say, go to the Amidah. You're going to see your family here. Here, we're going to talk about our family. Page 242, Amidah. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Let us now sing out, and we say in English, open our lips, that we can declare God's glory, God's praise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umkayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umchaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata L'chayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemagdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, V'kara ze el ze v'yamar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech kol haaretz kivodo. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha b'chol haaretz. Baruch kevod Adonai mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, v'hu Yashmienu barachamav li'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohayech Tzion, ledor vador hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim kedushatcha nagdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Page 250, Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue on page 260 with Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
You know, now we're going to transition to the Torah service, and I want to share just something brief with you. And, you know, this doesn't come from me. I spend, you know, for sure learning and thinking about the Torah portion. And last night I spoke about something I thought was extremely important, and that's really the hero of this week's Torah portion, and that's the Sar HaMashke. That's the name. It's not even a name. You're the Sar HaMashke. I mean, you go to Israel, you say, I'm the Sar HaMashke, you get thrown out of the country. I don't even know what that means. I mean, they say go to the bar. You know, they say go to the bar. Well, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Go to the. That's what the Sar HaMashke is. That is the wine. You know, the sommelier. You know, that's what the Sar HaMashke. Not the That's not the direct translation. But the Sar HaMashke is the chief of the wine stewards, the lord of the wine stewards. And really the one that saved Joseph, okay? The one that saved Joseph, and we don't even know his name. And, you know, it's important. So I just want to share that with you. Here, Joseph was in jail, and he met Joseph in jail. And then it took 2 years. It wasn't like the following day. 2 years later, the Pharaoh has a dream that cannot be interpreted, or he doesn't have confidence in anyone that can interpret the dream. And then all of a sudden, the Sar HaMashke, you know, the Lord of the wine steward says, hey, I remember someone. Someone helped me. Someone told me that, you know, my dream was going to come true. And the interesting thing is that here, immediately Joseph is taken from out of prison, and then he interprets the dreams of Pharaoh. He prepares the cities. He says that we're going to have 7 years of plenty. It's going to be incredible. But we have to prepare. We have to put everything in the grain, in the silos, in the storehouses. Because here we're going to have 7 years where there's going to be a famine. There's going to be a famine in the 7 years. And you know what? Everyone's going to come to us. And you know what? The Pharaoh says, that's what's going to happen. I need someone to be in control for the next 14 years. I need them to be in control of everything. Who could be such a person? And Joseph says, all right, I could do it. I could do it. And think about that. And Joseph does. That's what Joseph does. Now, whatever, you know, Joseph didn't have the easiest life. We know the story, right? His father Jacob loved him, gave him the coat. His brothers were envious, jealous, hated him, you know, threw him really in a pit and left him to die. And then here, you know, through a series of unfortunate events, Joseph then becomes really the second in command, if you will, the second in command to Pharaoh. Now, Joseph doesn't really have a name, and this I want to share with you. This is from, I was watching something from, may his memory be a blessing, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, who, you know, passed away recently, not long ago, and was the chief rabbi of England, and said something. He said, in this week's Torah portion, he said, is the most important thing in this week's Torah portion. So I said, "Where? I got to find it. You know, where is this, and how do we understand it?" And according to Rabbi Sachs, I'm going to share what he says. What Rabbi Sachs says is the most important thing in this week's Torah portion. He says that it's about brotherly love, sisterly love, and here that's a difficult thing when we think about that, because in Judaism, you know, sometimes we don't all get along. You know, sometimes you might say, I don't get along with my fellow Jews. I don't want to support their organizations, their causes. And that means you might be Jewish. And so this is the difficult thing that I'm going to share with you, and that we have to see past that. And I mean see, we have to physically, visually see past that. We have to support one another. We have to love one another. We have to find ways to come together to help each other. And so what happens here? Joseph is no longer Joseph. Joseph is actually, according to the Chazal, the ancient sages, the rabbinic sages, and to Rabbi Sachs, Joseph has a new name. His name's not Joseph. He's the Sara Parnas. He's the one in charge of all the money. That's what his title is. Here he's in charge of who's going to eat. Think about that. He's in charge of who's going to eat. And his brothers come to him. His brothers come to him because they need food. They need food. And I'm going to go inside now, and I want to read inside, okay? And this is really here. When Jacob realized that there was grain for sale in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, "Why are you staring at each other?" He said, "Look, I have heard that there are provisions for sale in Egypt. Go down the way and buy us provisions from there, that we may live and not die." So Joseph's brothers went down, 10 of them, to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's full brother, right, from Rachel, with his brothers, for he thought lest a deadly mishap befall him. Israel's sons came to buy provisions in the midst of those who came, for the famine prevailed over the whole world, the land of Canaan, the whole area. Everyone thought, that's it. Here, when you think if the famine affects you, that's it. What are we going to do? Now, Joseph was the one who held sway over the land. He was the one selling provisions to all the people of the land. Joseph's brothers therefore came and bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. Okay? With their faces, Genesis chapter 41. Now, I'm going to read in Hebrew first because this is really the thing. And it's hard because it's been years. It hasn't been that long. It's been like around 17 years. Okay, since they've seen their brother, around 17 years since they've seen their brother, and they don't recognize their brother. So think about that. So this is what Rabbi Sachs says. This is the verse. Vayar Yosef et echav, vayakirem v'yit naaker Elohim v'yidaber itam kashot vayomer Elohim ma'ain batem v'yomru me'eretz Canaan lishbor ochel. Here, verse number 8, this is it. Vayaker Yosef et echav vehem lo yikiruhu. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized his brothers. He knew them, but he pretended to be a stranger to them and spoke roughly to them. He said to them, where have you come from? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And this is the verse. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Here, this is family. This is the importance of family, that we have to make sure that we recognize one another. That we recognize one another and we support each other. Because here, some of the sages say, no. Some say they actually didn't recognize him because of his position. He was speaking the language. He was speaking Egyptian. And they didn't know that was him. But here, some of the sages actually say they knew him. They knew him, but they were afraid. They were embarrassed. They were sad. They were remorseful. So think about that. And now let us continue with our Torah service. We're going to bring out the Torah and prepare for the Mishaberach service, the service for healing, page 362. When our holy Torah comes out of the Aron HaKodesh, please rise. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'maasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Please rise in body and or spirit. Ava rachamim, heitiva v'irtzoncha, et Zion tibnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki vecha levad batachnu, melech elam v'nisa, Adon olamim. And we turn together to page 364 where we mention this is our holy Torah. This is the one that came from out of Jerusalem. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah. Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim. The top of page 366. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. We turn and we bow and we face the ark. Gadlul Adonai iti unramema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim v'ba'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim v'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai amamlecha v'minaseh lechol lerosh. On page 371, we prepare for the Misha Berach, and please, if you have a name of a loved one, someone that you know, someone maybe you don't know, that's in need of healing, a healing of the mind, of the body, of the spirit, of the soul, a refuah shlema, a full healing. Please share with us the names that we can pray for them.
Hermina and Alex Levy, Stuart Freitas, Donna Pedigo, Jerry and Ray Roberts, Michael and Joan Perrin, Margot and Jerry Hunt, Joanne and Mark Schoen, Morris and Felice Friedman, Irma Schiller, Nava and Ziva Charon, Arnie Dobron, Jessica Sanders Brownlee, Elaine Markell, Ann Tepper, Lisa Klein, Ira and Marcia Levine, Margaret Goldstein, Deborah Lee Wright, Jesse Morgan, Dan Copsey, Austin Blake, Jennifer Nix, Debbie Dreyer, Daryl and Debbie Bernard, Daniel Strumer, Lauren Wright, Margot and Jerry Hunt, Jennifer Nix, Margaret Goldstein, Martine Rudolph and family, Linda Ely, Jerry Hunt, and the over 16 million Americans who have been afflicted with COVID-19.
Ada Ganger and Lenore Jacobson.
And Lou Jutzi. Let us pray for all those that are in need of healing.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Now we turn to a prayer for our country. Page 376.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire,
to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. You know, we're small here at Temple Beth David, and I wish I could say we could do everything. But, you know, even what we're doing is incredible. And when I just read this prayer here, you know, we had a phenomenal, you know, our sisterhood during Hanukkah, during the you know, the first night of Hanukkah, not that long ago, you know, less than 2 weeks ago, did a food drive, and we collected food, and we have, I'm not sure, you know, our president, I think, is going to, tomorrow we're going to be delivering food. I mean, not delivering food. Tomorrow bringing. Okay, but right. So we've got like a winter clothing store in our social hall with all of the incredible people that have answered our social action committee and brought in winter clothing, because here it's getting cold out, for those people that are in need of winter clothes to stay warm. And that's what we're doing here at Temple Beth David. So please support us in all of our endeavors, because here, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give food, to give clothing, to help out, to be a place of support. And we can't do it alone. We need your help. So on page 374, our Holy Sefer Torah, Holy Torah, we will return to the ark with Yehalelu. Please rise as the Torah is lifted. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, ki nishgav shemo levado, hodo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lecho chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al tazovu eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba vetomcheha meushar derachea darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem. Please remain elevated, standing in body and or soul or spirit. We turn to page 586 for the second paragraph of Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת יום וידעת יום והשבות אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת עינות ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Now in our service we prepare for the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. And a way to help us prepare is a meditation. And the meditation is going to be on page 595, number 6. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and not but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breadth of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. You know, when we think about this reading, you know, here, what makes up a shul, a temple, a synagogue? You know, here we have boards, Zecher Neshamot, memorial lights on these walls here, where we remember all of those people here. We're about to read the list. That's what we do here at Temple Beth David. We remember all of those people that had a relationship with us. We remember you. If you are commemorating, if you're in Shiva, if you're commemorating Yortzeit, please share with us the names that we can elevate. We can elevate them, elevate the souls. We think of Richard Eggers, passed away recently. Zelda Abbas, Ned Isaacs, Vicki Morton, Bob Molnar, Dr. Jim Bartling, Maurice Goldstein, Joanne Sexton, Patrick Myers, George Kirchhoff, Martha Young, Donald Woodruff, Mickey McKinney, Dr. Norman Freed, Pedro Martinez, Helen Brudner, Gary Peck, Norman Lakach, Elabeth Green. We think of all of our loved ones whom death has taken recently, or those who died in seasons past. Asher Nicholsberg, Donald Copsey, Alexander Darnofsky, Barry Roman, Rose Lesser, Erwin Paykoff, Sylvia Whitlock, Ira Alpert, Sylvia Fletcher, Sadie Dobran, Isaac Andrews, Barbara Weiss, Melvin Ely, Catherine Sachs, Henry Silver, Leonard Dobran, Herbert Rose, Eddie Ginsberg, Richard Hoffman, Aharon Aharoni, Irving Bloom, Gloria Yakrus.
Bill Esberg.
And we say, Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. We rise in solidarity with all those that are mourning, because we too mourn. For the Mourner's Kaddish found on page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Ba'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yeh shmei rabba mevorach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yeh shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. We think of a hymn of glory. A hymn of glory, and I like Yigdal. Rebbitzin, what do you would like? You can choose whatever you would like.
It's been a while since we did Yigdal.
Yigdal, you sure? I don't know.
Let's do announcements first. And then we'll,
announcements first. All right. What? Our president, Judy Kern. Do we have some announcements?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Rabbi and Rebbitzin and everybody who was here conducting services last night for being the French fries under the hot lamps. I don't know if everybody realizes, but half of the lights in the sanctuary, we came in last night and they're not functional. So I schlepped up all the spotlights from downstairs, and we've been running services by spotlight, and everybody probably feels like they're a French fry under the hot lamps. There is Shabbat Shmooze following services hosted by Steve Darnowski. The meeting and password are in the chat. And as Rabbi mentioned, we are still continuing the clothing drive through the end of the year. We are bringing the first shipment over to Emory on Tuesday. The Emory Hospital System runs a drive every year through Mercy Care, and they ensure that it actually goes to people in need. So we're going to bring the first batch over on Tuesday.
Perfect. Rebbitzin, announcements.
We continue to have our ongoing schedule of classes. Mondays we have Tehillim. Wednesdays we have our wonderful Lunch and Learn facilitated by the Rabbi. Tuesday we have our new B'nai Mitzvah class, now 2 weeks in as of this Tuesday.
Yeah, if you're in the B'nai Mitzvah class, listen, I have to say it, even at Shabbat, you got to do the homework. We're going to have class this week, and you got to know the Aleph Bet. So if you're in the B'nai Mitzvah class and you're listening, we have actually a few people with us here. You got to know the Aleph Bet. So yes, make sure we're studying, because we're going to go over it. We're going to have a chazara, a review, but it's what we have to learn.
And just as a community, as a congregation, we are so proud of all of the members who are taking on this awesome responsibility and transforming.
We have a big group,
transforming their lives. And as a community, it's our job to support them and to encourage them.
That's right.
And to be a source of support when the going gets tough, because it's not an easy task.
It's not.
But it's definitely worthwhile and so meaningful. So with that said, we have a lot more opportunities to grow and connect Jewishly in January. Keep an eye out. We'll have our newsletter posted towards the end of this month. And it's so hard to believe. This time last year, we were getting ready for a gathering for what we Jews do on December 25th, which is eat Chinese food.
Ay. Listen, we'll do a surprise. We got to do something fun this year.
We're going to figure out something to do this year.
Yeah.
Clearly,
it's
hard to top last year.
It was too delicious. We got to do it again. It was too delicious. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out and really put a monkey wrench in everything. How about we schedule a Zoom session where everybody eats Chinese food together on Zoom?
That's not a bad idea.
That would be really great.
That's not a bad.
We will do that. We'll get an email out through Fran on Sunday. So if you're not receiving our Temple Beth David emails, make sure that you let us know so that we can make sure that you're connected.
And it's on Zoom, so you can't use an excuse. You can't say I live far away. That's it. You got Chinese food on Zoom on what's the
on December 25th.
December 25th. So only blessings. Let us end with Yigdal, and then again, it's so important. Thank you, Steve, for the shmooze to come together in kibbutz and have a good time and to talk to each other. Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach nimtza v'yened el metziuto echad v'yen yachid ki yechudo nelam v'gam en sof le'achduto ein lo demut haguf v'yeino guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon lechol davar asher nivra rishon v'yen reshi l'reshito Hino Adon Olam lechol notzar yoreh gedulato malchuto shefa nevuato netano el anshe segulato v'tifarto lo kam b'Yisrael kemo she'od navi umabit et temunato Torat emet natan le'amo el al yad nevi'o neman beito Lo yachalif ha'el ve'lo yamir dato le'olamim lezulato Sofev yodea setarenu mabit l'sof davar bekadmato Gomer le'ish chesed kemifalo noten l'rasha ra kirishato Yishlach leketz yamin pedut olam Kol chay v'yeshakir yeshuato Chaye olam nata b'tochenu Baruch adei ad shem tehilato Chaye olam nata b'tochenu Baruch adei ad shem tehilato
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Havdalah 6:11 on Facebook Live.
Correct. Join us for Havdalah, and please stay and schmooze with
Stay and
Steve.
schmooze.